Where is Gamora?
Yeah, I'll do you one better. Who's Gamora?
I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 unscripted moments from MCU movies.
Hey, Auntie.
You're not ready for that.
Try me, Beyoncé.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
For this list, we're looking at ad-libbed, improvised, and unscripted moments in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What's your favorite unscripted MCU moment? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Liar. Avengers Endgame.
Where is he now? Where?
We don't know.
Given just how jam-packed this movie was with stories, characters, and action, you'd be forgiven for not remembering this blink-and-you'll-miss-it moment in Avengers Endgame. After being rescued from space by Captain Marvel, Tony Stark returns to the Avengers compound emotionally and physically defeated. Despite this, he finds the strength to confront Steve Rogers over his role in failing to stop Thanos in the previous film.
Tony, you fought him.
Who told you that? You didn't fight him. No, he wiped my face with a planet while the Bleecker Street magician gave away the store.
During this stirring tirade, Robert Downey Jr. decided to insert a single word into his character's dialogue that serves as the perfect reminder that the events of Civil War are still fresh in his mind.
No trust. Liar.
Tony calling Steve a liar was improvised, with director Anthony Russo calling the moment, quote, one of Downey's most inspired. Number 9. Pec Touch. Captain America, the First Avenger.
Women aren't exactly lining up to dance with the guy they might step on.
Steve Rogers' transformation from scrawny kid to buff super soldier is one of the MCU's most iconic moments. However, it wouldn't have worked if Chris Evans had not fully committed to getting eye-bogglingly jacked. Much to the delight of fans, Evans pulled it off, emerging from the procedure with bulging muscles worthy of the legendary comic book character. It's clear from Haley Atwell's performance in the scene that fans were not the only ones taken aback by Evans' shredded physique. While shooting, Atwell impulsively reached out to touch Evans' pecs, and the filmmakers decided to keep the ad-lib in the finished product.
How'd you feel?
Taller.
Atwell spoke about the incident in an interview, quipping that she couldn't quite help herself when confronted by Evans' man boobs.
I couldn't quite help myself during the scene. It was the first time I saw him, and it was the first time I was that close, so I just kind of touched them gently.
Number 8. Nick Fury tries to talk sense into Spidey. Spider-Man, Far From Home.
And it will be in Prague in approximately 48 hours.
We have one mission. Kill it.
Samuel L. Jackson is known for his profanity-laced dialogue, so it should come as no surprise that he decided to spice up his lines in Spider-Man Far From Home. This crops up in the scene in which he attempts to convince Peter Parker to help him and Mysterio defeat the Elementals. Initially, Peter is hesitant to lend a hand, quipping that the situation feels a little extreme for a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man like himself.
Mr. Fury, this all seems like big time. You know, huge superhero kind of stuff. And I'm just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, sir.
Nick Fury doesn't skip a beat in reminding Peter that he's less than a year removed from being on another planet. And Jackson and Jake Gyllenhaal both confirmed that the former added a little something extra to ensure that line truly hit home.
Bitch, please, you've been to space.
Number 7. Nick Fury sneaks a peek. Captain Marvel.
Hey, how's your eye?
Well, I'd say fine, but it can't believe what it's seeing.
Samuel L. Jackson strikes again. It turns out that one of Captain Marvel's funniest moments, and there were plenty, was improvised by the longtime MCU star. During the scene in which Nick Fury and Keller examine the now-deceased Skrull that had been impersonating Agent Coulson, Fury decides to check what's under the alien's proverbial hood. It's totally in line with the character's curious nature, and we wouldn't have been surprised to learn that it was in the original script. However, that little moment was all Jackson. Directors Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck loved the ad-lib and decided to keep it in the finished product. You'll hear no complaints from us.
Wow. They're ugly bastards, aren't they?
Number 6. Beyoncé, Doctor Strange.
Just one? Like Adele? Or Aristotle? Drake? Bono? Eminem?
The relationship that Dr. Stephen Strange and Wong share is one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's most underrated. Perhaps it's because both characters are played by actors named Benedict. One of their best moments also happened to be 100% improvised by Benedict Cumberbatch. According to Benedict Wong, Cumberbatch would throw all sorts of silly lines at him while filming, simply to see what kind of reaction he could provoke.
You're not ready for that.
Try me, Beyoncé.
So, when Strange calls Wong Beyoncé early in the film, the latter's look of stoic confusion was not fake.
Come on. You've heard of her. She's a huge star, right?
The filmmakers doubled down on the joke later on, with Wong jamming out to Beyoncé's Single Ladies Put a Ring on It while reading. Number 5. Hey Auntie, Black Panther. You'd be hard-pressed to deny that Killmonger is one of the MCU's best villains. He's intelligent, ruthless, cares about his people, and has a backstory that audiences can sympathize with.
It's about 2 billion people all over the world that looks like us, but their lives are a lot harder. Wakanda has the tools to liberate them all.
The character was brilliantly portrayed by Michael B. Jordan, who clearly felt comfortable enough in Killmonger's skin to improvise this awesome line of dialogue. The ad-lib comes after meeting his relatives for the first time. During this shocking reveal, Jordan decided to throw a little salt in the wound, referring to the Queen Mother as Auntie with enough arrogance to make Thanos proud.
Hey, Auntie.
This was not the only ad-lib that made it into the film, as M'Baku barking at Ross to shut him down was improvised by actor Winston Duke. Number 4. Spider-Man's Last Words, Avengers Infinity War.
You're all right.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know.
You may want to break out a box of tissues for this next entry, because it's often considered one of the saddest in the history of the MCU. Having just lost to Thanos, Tony is stunned to see his comrades starting to disintegrate before his eyes. Spider-Man is one of the last ones standing, but soon collapses into his mentor's arms.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go, sir. Please. Please, I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
His cries of "I don't want to go" were improvised on the spot, though director Joe Russo also deserves credit. Russo told Holland before shooting to, quote, "act like you don't want to go." Tom Holland turned the direction into dialogue, and his performance totally sells it.
Sorry.
Number 3. Gamora, 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 Avengers Infinity War.
I'm gonna ask you this one time. Where is Gamora?
Yeah, I'll do you one better. Who's Gamora?
Hot take alert, Drax is the funniest character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Need proof? Just check out this scene in which he stupidly attempts to add something to a conversation between Tony Stark and Peter Quill, while lying beneath Tony's foot, we might add.
I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?
This iconic and hilarious line was made up on the spot by Dave Bautista, who slipped it in after a few days on set. The only lines that were actually in the script were the ones spoken by Tony and Peter. Drax's line was simply Bautista becoming one with his character. We tip our caps to this mountain of a man, and his ability to catch everything that goes over his head.
Nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it.
I'm gonna die surrounded by the biggest idiots in the galaxy.
Number 2. He's a friend from work. Thor Ragnarok. Owing to the fact that this line was splashed across promotional material for Thor Ragnarok, you'd be forgiven for thinking it took a team of writers months to come up with. Alas, Thor's hilarious exclamation upon seeing Hulk on the planet Sakaar for the first time was in actuality the brainchild of, well, a child. A kid from the Make-A-Wish Foundation was visiting the set one day and told Chris Hemsworth that he should say the line when he encounters Hulk in the arena.
Hey, we know each other. He's a friend from work.
Hemsworth loved it, director Taika Waititi loved it, and the rest, as they say, is history. A big improv fan, Waititi actually encouraged his actors to ad-lib on set. That's how we got Thor's snake story, too.
There was one time when we were children, he transformed himself into a snake, and he knows that I love snakes. So I went to pick up the snake to admire it, and he transformed back into himself, and he was like, "Yeah, it's me!" And he stabbed me.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions. Get Help, Thor Ragnarok. Chris Hemsworth came up with the gag.
Hey, let's do Get Help.
What?
Get Help.
No.
Come on, you love it.
I hate it.
It's great, it works every time.
It's humiliating.
Do you have a better plan?
No.
We're doing it.
We are not doing Get Help.
Get help! Please! My brother, he's dying! Get help! Help him! Oh, classic.
Peter and Tony's hug. Spider-Man Homecoming. Tom Holland improvised, and RDJ took it in stride.
Oh, did you have my numbers?
No, I mean, we'll call you. Like, someone will call you.
Oh.
All right?
From your team.
Okay.
That's not a hug. I'm just grabbing the door for you. We're not there yet.
Hammer Hang. Thor: The Dark World. Another gag courtesy of Chris Hemsworth.
The whole world is going crazy. All the stuff we saw is spreading.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. I Am Iron Man. Iron Man.
Been a while since I was in front of you. I figure I'll stick to the cards this time.
In the pantheon of iconic MCU lines, one stands above the rest.
I am Iron Man.
Tony Stark's declaration at the end of the first Iron Man movie is the stuff of legend, with the superhero breaking convention by throwing the well-worn trope of secret identities to the wind. The line is quintessential Tony, making it all the more shocking when you discover that Robert Downey Jr. made it up on the spot. The reaction from fans was instantaneous, with Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige later admitting that it inspired him not to be, quote, afraid to adapt and evolve and to change things. The line reappeared in Avengers Endgame, serving as the perfect bookend to Tony's character arc.
Iron Man.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.